Thank you for joining us, Mr. Sharda. Action being taken against a madrasa after the information that there were terror activities being carried out there. The Congress party is saying this is targeting of a community. How would you respond?
Well, I almost laughed when your producer asked me about this, because all what is being done is based on evidence. I don't know when the Congress will change its name to Indian Muslim League or something like that, because this total blind appeasement of the worst element of the particular community rather than promoting and supporting the right-minded and the modern Muslims who are trying to fight against this tendency of creating a very claustrophobic kind of society which is more tuned to ISIS than to the Indian culture. I think Congress needs to check its very basic premises. The problem with Congress is lost its way, and it is supporting this jihadi element by such statements.
Okay. In fact, such a statement was also made when such demolition drives are taken up in the national capital. That's the anti-encroachment drive. That's completely different. This is based on the inputs, the intel inputs that the government of India had received, that the Assam government is well aware of. It's well documented as well. In fact, this is a madrasa that was run by Mufti Mustafa, whose association with the Bangladeshi terror outfit is well known. To criticize an action like this, that's the shocking part of it, isn't it?
So this is the thinking which had led to India being a target of frequent terror attacks during UPA regime, when the government refused to take action against people who were acting as directly as the link to the terrorists or as sleeper cells, and it refused to take the tests. It tried to create alternative fake narrative of Hindu terror to somehow protect these people. And we saw what happened to India. We saw people dying every few months, every few weeks with bomb explosions, which are more and more aggressive, more and more brazen. And Congress was responsible for that. That is the reason that it has not learned from those mistakes. That's the reason we have seen no major terror attacks in the last 7 years, because the government doesn't act on these issues as religious issues, but acts purely as something that will stop the terror. If Congress doesn't learn and people don't learn from what Congress behavior is, we are in for trouble, where Congress is trying to create very fictitious society based on fiction, not on fact.
Right. Mr. Ratan Sharda, thank you for joining us with your perspective on that. So, Congress party criticizing this action, but the Assam Chief Minister has clarified on the terror links to the madrasa, but action has been taken only against the building. The students who were studying there have been placed in different schools across the state. Let's get you that reaction of the Chief Minister.
So now let us examine the Assam Police Jua Kedinot ji ami last 5 months pasta module group etai Ansarullah Bangla team ABT ami pasta module ami blast koribo parisu. But I must also add here that these are not only based on information from Assam Police. We secured cooperation, we got cooperation from National Security Grid, which is comprised of all intelligence agencies of Government of India and other states.
So this was the action that was taken on the left-hand side of your screens. The action that had been taken. This is a madrasa in Assam that has been demolished by the authorities in an action taken earlier today. This was after the information came in that the madrasa was linked to terror accused, and this is Mufti Mustafa. But politics being played out over the issue as well. In fact, Congress party earlier today said that it is the targeting of a particular community. Now, the Congress ally also trivializing the radical threat. The RJD also now calling out the Assam government. Back-to-back news breaks on the big story here. First, there was the Congress party politicizing and saying this is targeting of a particular community. Now, the RJD also trivializing the radical threat.
असम के माननीय मुख्यमंत्री हेमंत विश्वकर्मा जी भी योगी जी के रास्ते पर चल पड़े हैं। मदरसों पर बुलडोजर चलाई है। किसी न्यायालय का कोई आदेश नहीं, अवैध रूप से कुछ नहीं था, तो फिर आपने मदरसों को टारगेट क्यों किया? मदरसों पर बुलडोजर चलाने के पहले बेरोजगारी, भुखमरी, महंगाई पर बुलडोजर चलाते हेमंत विश्वकर्मा जी तो ज्यादा अच्छा होता। वैसे जो भी अगर गैर कानूनी ढंग से कोई निर्माण है तो उस पर आप उसको हटाइए, लेकिन टारगेट करना, मदरसों पर बुलडोजर चलाना ये उचित नहीं है। बुलडोजर वाली राजनीति स्वीकार जनता को नहीं होगी।
So this is the reaction coming in from the RJD undermining the radical threat in the area. The Chief Minister spoke about how different terror modules had been busted in Assam in the last few months. In this as well, there had been intel. In fact, this is the Jamiul Huda Madrasa that was demolished under the UAPA Act. There were students studying here as well who have been admitted to different schools. But this is a terror link that the officials had found. Mustafa, that is Mufti Mustafa, had been running this madrasa, and that's the reason why this action had been taken. Now, back-to-back reactions also coming in. We had politics being played out over this as well. First, the Congress party saying this is targeting of a community, this action against madrasa, completely ignoring the terror angle. And now, bulldozer model in Madhya Pradesh too. That's a reaction coming in. The BJP vowing zero tolerance. More reactions coming in. Listen in.
जांच कर रही है तो फिर ये आंदोलन क्यों? उन्हें आना चाहिए, जनता को बचाना चाहिए।
एक सवाल और है, असम सरकार ने जो मदरसे पर बुलडोजर चला दिया है और यहाँ पर भी कई इलीगल तरीके से जो मदरसे चल रहे थे वो बंद कर दिए गए हैं, तो क्या यहाँ भी बुलडोजर की कार्रवाई?
देखिए, बुलडोजर की बात नहीं है, जो भी इलीगल है, जो देश के खिलाफ काम करेगा उसको इस समाज में रहने का अधिकार नहीं है। ये देश का हित सर्वोपरि है, सबसे पहले देश है, धर्म से ऊपर भी देश है।
तो यहाँ भी सर बुलडोजर देखने को मिलेगा, कार्रवाई अगर
फिर में यदि कहीं कोई गलत होगा तो कार्रवाई तो की जाएगी, परंतु मुद्दा यह है कि हमें इस देश के हित को सर्वोपरि रखना होगा।
So absolutely, this is what Vishwas Sarang is just giving this.
Okay, that's a reaction coming in. NCP leader Mr. Majid Memon is on the phone line with us. Mr. Memon, how do you respond to it? A madrasa has been demolished in Assam. There are opposition leaders claiming this is targeting of a community, but Assam has clarified that the terror link had been established.
See, BJP government in Uttar Pradesh or Madhya Pradesh or elsewhere has been providing too much of employment to bulldozer owners. By hiring them for at the drop of the hat to bulldoze the houses, bulldoze the structures, bulldoze various bodies, etc. Well, this bulldoze culture was not known until recently, and even the Supreme Court has, in fact, while examining the case of bulldozing, has said that the establishment has to follow the procedure established by law. Now, whether it's a madrasa or it's any other institution, the question is that whether the care was taken to ensure that the existing structure deserved to be removed, and whether the notices were properly issued
But Mr.
to them.
Memon, this is not an anti-encroachment drive where they can be given the benefit of doubt. This is a madrasa that is linked to a terror accused based on specific intel inputs that have been received.
On your allegation, on your suspicion, you can't take the extreme step of destroying a particular structure. There is a procedure established by law. You have the structure owner or occupier is required to be given a notice that, well, for this reason your structure is illegal and therefore it deserves to go. And thereafter, the last step is to use the bulldozer. But they begin with bulldozer, which is very unfortunate. I am sorry to say that rule of law is completely ignored, and the establishment is acting in a high-handed manner, and whichever structure they don't like, it belongs to a particular community or it belongs to a particular section of society, it should be
But won't it be unfair to say that this is targeting of a community when clearly it is about a terror accused?
No, is it whether, has it been proved, has it been brought to the, notice was given to the occupier that we are questioning you, that there are dubious activities going on, illegal activities are going on, terrorist activities are going on. Have you considered their explanation? Have you examined whether truthfully the premises were used for any illegal purposes? Unless you follow a procedure established by law, you can't invite bulldozers.
Okay, all right. So you're saying the bulldozer action is uncalled for. Mr. Memon, thank you for joining us with your view on that. Specific terror intel that has already been established, the Assam government taking action, but politics playing out over the same. That's all we have time for in this edition of the Bulletin. Thank you for watching. News and updates continue on the other side.